There's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello, I'm Sean the Book Maniac. Welcome back to my channel, and this is, for the first time in forever, a vlog, a Vee-Log. It's my weekend Vee-Log. I haven't done a Vee-Log for a year or more. I mean, with the pandemic, I wasn't going out, so that was one excuse, but also just I can't really control my appearance or the lighting when I'm out, and as I get older, I start to worry about how I'm decomposing in front of you, so I thought this might be a good way to break out of that nonsense. Do I not pass through time? So I'm out walking today, and I'm going to take you to a wine store. I haven't posted my Friday reads. It's uploading right now. It'll go live. This is Friday afternoon, late afternoon, about 4 o'clock. And I talked on my Friday reads about the fact that the brands of wine, both brands of wine that I've been drinking have disappeared from Japan, so I have to find new wine. I'm going to a wine store that's a little bit pricey. The wine store is connected to kind of a restaurant or izakaya. It's not really an izakaya. Izakaya is a Japanese style pub. This is much more of a kind of an Italian, European feel, but it's a wonderful place to go and eat and drink. But I haven't been going out for a long time. But I know it's still open and they sell wine, so I am going to cross my fingers. I'm going to buy 1, maybe 2 bottles. I drink dry wine as long as it's not Japanese. Japanese wine is terrible. Would you drink French sake? People, don't drink Japanese wine. Most Japanese admit their wine is shit, so I'm not being too disrespectful. This place has lots of French, German, whatever, Spanish wine. My favorite countries for wine are, I like a Peace Porter Riesling, which I realize is not all that dry, is it? But I do like a Peace Porter Riesling, and I don't know much about wine, but I have good luck with Italian wines, Chilean wines, and funnily enough, most French wines I don't like. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go pick something new and hope for the best. And then I'm going to take you to a nearby cafe where they have outdoor tables. And they have they keep those tables open. They keep their patio open year round. So during the pandemic, I have a family of private students, a mother about my age and her teenage son that both take private lessons from me, and they live near there, and they cooperated with my worry about being indoors during the height of the pandemic. So we had our lessons outside on these tables with a propane heater or something beside us all winter long. That's how I got to know the cafe. I love it. There's 2 really cute waiters. You might get to see one of them today. And I'm going to go read for an hour, and I'm going to start one new book, and I'm going to get back into another book that I haven't read for about a week. One of the things I'm going to do on this Vee-Log is I'm going to start one new book each day and dip back into a book that certainly none of you have heard me talk about since I introduced it on my channel as that I had just started it. And take you a few places. Japan is under a state of emergency, so you're not supposed to go out very far, but I am now at the stage where, masked, I'm comfortable to go anywhere. I don't like to take my mask off to eat in a public place unless it's outdoors, but other than that, I'm ready to go out into the world. So I'll take you a few places, and it will be an excuse to get out and walk more and just explore this city, which I have been kind of stuck in my room for a year and a bit. So let me show you the books I'm going to read, about 30 minutes each today if I have enough time. The one I'm going to start is this Mozambique novel, The First Wife, by Paulina Chiziane or Chiziane. Very chunky one. I didn't notice, or I had forgotten, that both Mel and Britta read it and only gave it 3 stars, but their 3 stars is my 4 stars. Plus, I often like books they don't like, so I'm not going to lower my expectations, but I'm going to get into that one. And I'm going to read a few more pages of Berlin Alexanderplatz by Alfred Döblin, I believe is the pronunciation. And I didn't say the translator of the last one, sorry. This is translated by Michael Hoffman. I haven't read it for, it might be 10 days. Isn't this a fabulous spot? It's about a 15-minute walk from my house, just a little bit far to come here regularly. But I've done one review video here. I should come here more often because it's gorgeous. Don't you think? Hey, well, that didn't work out. All the wine was too expensive. They only had about 3 kinds of white wine, under $20 a bottle, and I just don't pay any more than that. I'm sorry. I'm cheap. And the ones that were, $17 or something like that, $19, they were French, and I don't get along with French wine usually. So I might have to drink something other than wine tonight. There is one more wine store. Anyway, okay. All right, here I am sitting on the street. I'm about a hop, skip, and a jump away from the coffee shop. I've forgotten there was one other wine store that was close by. I've never had good luck buying wine there, but they were having a big sale. They had a bunch of wine. I think you saw it in the footage. 3 bottles for $10 or something like that, or was it 4? So it can't be any good. So I went in and I looked around and kind of not knowing what the hell I was buying. It's been so long since I've shopped for new wine that I've forgotten the Nihongo for dry wine. So I just took 2 off the shelf that looked good, but I don't know if they're just sweet, or one I think is Spanish and one is French. But it's a Sauvignon Blanc, which I tend to have good luck with. So here they are, and I'm sitting on a little stump here that it's one of the only places that I can sit down in this area. I often get, to my English lesson 10 minutes early, and I sit right here. People look at me funny, but I'm used to that. Foreigner in Japan. And as I set my plastic bag of 2 wine bottles down, and then set my heavy backpack down, I knocked the bottles of wine onto the sidewalk, but they didn't break. So, Jesus. This is the Bordeaux Sauvignon. And this is the Spanish wine, which I don't know anything about. It's organic. After I go to the cafe, I'm going to go to the supermarket and buy some groceries. I want to make a vegetable stir-fry, a vegetable teriyaki stir-fry. I love making teriyaki, chicken teriyaki, salmon teriyaki. I've never made a vegetable teriyaki before. I'm going to try it tonight. Eat healthy, don't you know? drinking an iced coffee. Here's my iced coffee. There is a lot of street noise. The street is right there. But sometimes the view of the boys walking by is pretty special. You might have seen one or two already. Okay, let's try this one, the French one, Le Hot de Bel Air, Bordeaux, 2019, Savillon. I tried to figure out a way to show myself, get the angle of the tripod thing, and no. I'm just gonna get the sound effects. You get the corkscrew anyway. I can usually tell by the color when I pour it if I'm gonna like it, and I love the color. As we say in Japan, kanpai! Oh, that's nice. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit sweeter than I like, but I do like it. It's good. I don't know whether I want to drink several bottles of it in a month, but the first sips are promising. Alright, and just end of day wrap up. I didn't like this at all. This is really angsty. I'm not saying the woman doesn't have a lot to complain about, but from the first sentence, it's just whine, 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 and there's no story. Her husband is a bad man, and she's left alone with the kids. And I, so far, could give a rat's ass about any of that, because it's just whine. And I read the first chapter. Just a couple sentences at random, and the whole thing is like this. But where is my dear Tony, whom I haven't seen since Friday? Where is that man of mine? A few pages later, I go to the mirror to try to find out what's wrong with me. I see dark rings under my eyes. My God, huge rings. I've cried so much these last few days. I think I could probably bail right now, but I'll give it 10 more pages. But I've flipped through it, and it looks like it's that kind of first-person narration. This is not going to be for me. The only other Mozambique novelist that I know, and I'm very curious about him, but he's white, and I'm prejudiced. I don't like white writers in a black country. Miyakoto, is that? I don't know how do you pronounce his name. But I'm really curious to try him, so I'm probably going to switch to him as soon as, probably, if the next 10 pages are as dreadful as these were, I think this will be a very early bail, and I'll try something by Miyakoto on ebook. So that didn't go well. The next 10 pages of Berlin Alexanderplatz by Alfred Döblin. I studied how to pronounce his name, and I have already forgotten, so let's get that on the record here.
Alfred Döblin.
Döblin.
Alfred Döblin.
Well, I think Döblin is closer, but I'll have to ask Britta or someone. Anyway, I've read the next 10 pages, so I'm now on page 50. It's good. I mean, the writing translation is just excellent. This was a little bit disorienting because in a lot of it, I didn't know who was speaking, because it's the beginning of chapter 2. And Franz Biberkopf is the main character, the ex-convict, but he, I don't think, is in the first scene. It's a conversation in a bar where the one man who is described as having sagging features and gray hair is sneaking. He's got a flask and he's putting rum in the tea that he's drinking at this bar. But I don't think that's... So I don't know who those guys are. But I was surprised to encounter the word fuck in the dialogue in a novel that was published in German, originally in 1929. I'm sure that would not have ever been published in English in the 1920s. The onlyest time I can ever remember seeing it was in, and I haven't read the novel, but what's that sexist asshole? Oh, that doesn't narrow it down. Anyway, I can't remember the author or the book, but it was published in the 1940s, and I think they changed the spelling to feck, F-E-C-K, and I don't think before that, even, like, that was pretty scandalous. So, did the people say fuck in literary novels in 1929 in Germany? I want to know about that. And let's end by talking to Adam. Hey, Adam, it's Sean the Book Maniac. I'm speaking to you on my Vee-Log, and I want to talk to you about the Alexandria Quartet. I finished my reread of Justine. Got a heck of a lot more out of it on the reread, and I believe we're starting our Balthazar buddy read like next week. I have a copy of the paperback with the handprint on it, the orange one, and it's not that long. It's about the same length, maybe a little bit longer. 200, not including consequential data. What the hell is consequential data? You never did explain that to me, Adam. From the first book. It is 265 pages in my edition, and I see that it's divided up into 4 parts. The first 2 parts are about, I can't remember if they're called, what are they called, sections? Parts. So part 1 and part 2 are each about 100 pages, so I thought we could do each of those parts in a week, and parts 3 and 4 are about half that, so we could do parts 3 and 4 the final week. So a 3-week buddy read. Let me know what you think, and if I'd be ready to check in next weekend. By next weekend, I mean something like the 5th or 6th of June, and start the 3-week buddy read checking in that weekend, or if you want to start it later, that's totally fine. Let me know what you think, and I would love for you to reply to my public Voxer message and say hello to all of your fans through my channel. And I would like to know the last book that you bought or stole or borrowed from the library. And special special question from Britta and Doris, who very much want to know all the details about the underwear you're wearing when you reply. And anything else you'd like to share.